It's now been a full year since two South African engineers working in Equatorial Guinea were arrested. They're now being held after a trial in which it appears very little evidence was actually brought against them. Frederik, Potgieter and Peter Huxham were arrested in Equatorial Guinea just days after two homes and a super yacht belonging to that country's deputy president, Theodore Ngwema Obiang Mangwe, were seized here in South Africa. Their families believe the two men are actually being held as revenge or hostages or retaliation for what happened. Shaun Murphy is the family spokesperson for both the Potgieter and Huxham families. Shaun, good afternoon to you. What happened to these two men? What happened when they were arrested?
Good afternoon, Stephen. Yeah, thanks for having me. So just for a little bit of insight, both these gents were working offshore, just off the shore of Equatorial Guinea. They were there on a 5-week rotation and they were due to come back home. So on the night before they were supposed to return home, they stayed over in a hotel there and they were arrested. And they were arrested on drug-related charges. We believe that these charges are trumped-up charges. They were taken to Black Beach Prison. They were held there for a couple of days, and then they were moved to a prison which is specifically reserved for political prisoners, and they've been there for the last year.
So, from what you say, there's no evidence. The accusation against them was around drugs, but yet they're in a prison for political prisoners. I don't quite understand why that would happen.
Well, that's exactly one of the concerns that we have, and obviously, if you start joining the dots, that it really makes sense. Incidentally, and I mean, you said this, they were literally arrested 2 days after SA authorities seized the Vice President of Equatorial Guinea, Teddy Obiang's 2 luxury villas and his super yacht. So it is now very clear that the actual cause of the arrest is in retaliation for South Africa seizing these properties and the yacht belonging to Teddy, who also happens to be the son of Equatorial Guinea's president. And I mean, like I said, they're being held in a prison for political prisoners. And the sentence that's been handed down to them, they've received a 12-year sentence, damages to the value of $5 million, which equates to about 95 million rand each, plus additional fines. The sentence and the fines are much higher than what the current Equatorial Guinea law allows.
So is the companies that they work for, their employers, have they been able to do anything to help?
Look, the company that they work for, SBM, has been absolutely brilliant. They've really been, the pillars of strength. They've, really supplied all the infrastructure and obviously put a lot of resources on the ground, in order to support Frick and Peter, and also at the same time to also support the families. We initially had a meeting with them every single day, Monday to Friday, where they would give us feedback as to what is going on, and that eventually then changed to twice a week. But that is still currently happening. I think just to add on to that, these guys are innocent. They were literally in a place at the wrong time.
And our government, they're South African citizens, as I understand it. Has our government been active at all in trying to get their release or trying to work out what happened? There are certain obligations our government has to them.
Yeah. So, yes, they are South African citizens. Peter also carries a UK citizenship. And just to reiterate, these men are in prison because one country, which is SA, took the property of the vice president of another country, and this is entirely a political situation situation that calls for a political solution. Unfortunately, we have been deeply disappointed by South Africa's response. Now, the families believe that the government has failed them. The sad reality is that the government can actually make a difference. We all saw, the events over the past month, where SA took country to the International Court of Justice to protect the people of Palestine. It is very clear to us that the Department of International Relations and Minister Naledi Pandor has the authority, the leadership and the capabilities required to intervene on an international level. Sure. The sad reality, though, is yes.
We'll have to leave it there. Thank you, Shaun Murphy, family spokesperson for the Huxham and Potgieter families.